Wisconsin went into Austin and beat the Longhorns there last year. Can Texas and Rick Barnes return the favor this year in Madison? Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz. Glad to be with you on CBSSports.com, breaking down some of the best college basketball matchups all year long on the website. To help me do that, we bring in CBSSports.com's college basketball columnist Gary Parrish. And Gary, we've seen Texas a lot on the national stage this year. Wins over UCLA, wins over Villanova, this close loss to Michigan State this past weekend. But we haven't really seen Wisconsin. Who are the Badgers this year?
You know, they're the same type of Badgers that we see every year. It's, a Bo Ryan team, give or take a player. Look, I don't love the roster, but I'm tired of doubting Bo Ryan. He's been to the NCAA tournament all 7 years at Wisconsin, won at least 24 games in 5 of those 7 seasons. That includes a 31-win season last season when folks didn't think he had much at all. So, again, you look at their roster, it's sort of, you go, I don't know how they can compete with the Michigan State, Ohio State, Purdue, and then every year they compete with the Michigan State, Ohio State, Purdue. So I'm a believer in Bo Ryan, so I'm a believer in the Wisconsin team. But, again, it's not much different than any other Wisconsin team you see. A group of guys with, a couple of really good players and some other guys filling in parts and winning games one after another.
And a group of guys that play defense very well. Gary, when you talk about Wisconsin and then you talk about what they do defensively, can they bother A.J. Abrams to the point that Michigan State did in its win on Saturday?
Yeah, I don't know. Michigan State certainly gave Abrams problems, but, and Wisconsin is very good defensively. But remember, I'm the guy who thought Wisconsin would bother Stephen Curry in the Sweet 16 last season, and then he put 33 on him. So, look, Abrams is good. And one bad game isn't going to change that. He's been among the most consistent shooters and scorers in college basketball the past 3 seasons. Even if he was overshadowed by Kevin Durant and DJ Augustine, he's not the type of guy to string bad games. So while Texas can certainly lose at Wisconsin, most people do, I don't think it'll be because A.J. Abrams is awful again.
Do you think it'll be because they have issues at the point?
Well, I'll just put it this way. How many elite-level teams really don't have true point guards? To me, that's the bigger long-term question at Texas, more so than anything with Abram or size up front, so on and so forth. Can Texas go to the Final Four or win it all with Justin Mason running the point? I'll say this. How many great teams don't have them? Look at last season's Final Four. Kansas had Mario Chalmers. Memphis had Derrick Rose. UCLA had Darren Collison. UNC had Ty Lawson. That's not an accident. So that'll be something to watch, whether Texas can be elite with Mason at the point. But he's been pretty steady so far, and I think he's steady enough to play against a Wisconsin team, if only because Wisconsin isn't the type of team that'll overwhelm you with talent.
Gary, you talked about that before, and you talk about this roster with maybe a couple of players, Landry and Trevon Hughes. But who's the guy that has to step up right now for Bo Ryan's squad?
Jason Bohannon. He isn't really having a nice season. His percentages are down across the board, and his minutes are down. His percentages are down, and he's not really been the offensive player that they need him to be. He's second on the team in shots, and that's fine, except he's shooting 33.7% from the field and 32.8% from three-point range. Both those numbers are way down from last season. Eventually, that's got to be worked out. And, most recently in Saturday's win over Coppin State, he was only 4 of 11. So they still, there's a ceiling on how good they can be unless they get him shooting the ball a little bit better or shooting the ball less.
Real quickly, Gary, who's your winner in this game Tuesday night, 9:30?
It's, you call me an idiot on Wednesday later in this week when we talk, but I'll go with Texas on the road against Bo Ryan at Wisconsin, where people don't usually win. But I'm a big believer in talent, and Texas, I think, obviously has the most talented roster, and so I'll go with Texas. And plus, just like I said, Abrams doesn't usually string bad games. Texas doesn't usually string losses. So I suspect they'll go up there and repay Wisconsin for that win they got last year, and even that little series over the past 2 years at 1-1.
And we talk about Wisconsin playing defense. You got to talk about Texas defense as well. Gary Parrish, thank you very much, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon, Jason.
All right, folks. For more on this game or any other, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com. And also, it's nice to see that these games are being played on their home courts, not at neutral sites. For Gary Parrish, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.